By now, you have probably heard and seen that Mindseye is a bit of a disaster. With people all over the internet clowning on it. And how this might be the worst game of the year, and honestly, they're not wrong. Mindseye inhabits some of the worst aspects of modern gaming, from lying about the game during previews and interviews to not giving out any review copies, which makes it impossible for reviews to come out before the game is released, and having their co-CEO Mark Gerhard talk about literal conspiracy theories that some people were paying bots to write bad stuff about the game before release. Now that's really funny in hindsight now that the game is out. Yeah, Mindseye had so many red flags before release, and I was insane enough to actually buy it and test it out. And I gave it a fair chance and I played through the whole game from start to finish. I wanted to give the most in-depth review I can for you guys. And it took me around 10 hours to complete it. Oh, and one more thing before I start the review. I know that some people, me included, was worried that a lot of talent had left Rockstar to work on projects like Mindseye and were afraid that GTA 6 might be, well, shit. But after having played Mindseye, fear not people, because the people who left Rockstar sure as hell were not the talented ones. First of all, this game is not a scam. It's not like the day before. It's a real game that you can actually complete from beginning to end. But the trailers and gameplay footage on the other hand, yeah, now that's going a bit into scamming territory, because the game runs nothing like that. And the game is not what they promised, being this dynamic world where gameplay can become a car chase with just one click of a button. Yeah, bullshit. The devs clearly overpromised the scope of this game. Just listen here what they said about it. Build a Rocket Boys game creation system which enables players to craft anything in their minds. As players can craft their own experiences using all of the Mindseye assets, creating everything from custom missions to entirely new scenarios within the game's expansive and richly detailed world. Whether you're designing a high-speed chase through Red Rock's bustling cityscapes or a stealth mission in its industrial outskirts, it's designed to be intuitive and easy to use, ensuring that players of all skill levels can bring their imagination to life. First of all, this guy is talking out of his ass. And the worst part is that the main creator, Leslie Benzies, talks about how Mindseye is just the first episode. Yeah, they want to do a whole universe of this. And I don't see it coming. Also, what hubris does Leslie have to even talk about future games when this one is not even out yet? I don't know if Leslie thinks that just because he was the co-creator of the GTA series that anything he touches becomes gold. If Mindseye is the first, I don't wanna see what the future holds, my dude. No one is going to want to make games or worlds within your system because the game, it's pretty shit. Seriously, they make it sound as if they are creating the bestest universe ever. It's the future of entertainment to allow active participation so players feel like they have agency and can immerse themselves in our world as they want to. We are introducing free products in one game that will revolutionize AAA quality interactive gaming and storytelling. There is Mindseye, Narrative Story, Play Mindseye and Build Mindseye. Well, let me talk shortly about these three products. 1. The game sucks. 2. The story kinda sucks. It's the most generic thing you have ever seen. And 3. No one is going to build stuff in your game if the game actually sucks. It's the same reason as to why so many modders quit working on mods for Starfield, because the game was boring. Also, it's just so weird that in almost every single interview, gameplay and trailer discussion, the focus always shifts on the concepts around Mindseye rather than on it. There is nothing special about it. Why not talk about the gameplay and story instead of how it's going to be this beginning of a universe? Also, the chief legal officer and the chief financial officer quit the company 1 week before release. They knew what was coming and they moved on to greener pastures. Because let's be serious for a minute, this game was not ready to be shipped. It's a poorly optimized game that barely functions at times, and yet the devs released it anyway. They knew it was not ready. It's such disgusting behavior, especially from a studio veteran like Leslie, and for him to just lie about how quality is of the essence is frustrating. This game runs like ass. I have by no means a supercomputer, but it should be able to run this game, and when there are only a few characters on screen, it works well enough. But towards the latter half of the game when there are tons of enemies, oh boy. I even tried switching all my settings to low and it still had so many issues, and I'm not the only one. I don't think anyone has played this game without some optimization issues. Even the cutscenes start to lag.
Is that all you got, Sugar Plum?
Charlie.
There is some blurriness, weird shadows and lighting issues in almost every single cutscene, and it makes it so much harder to immerse yourself in the story, and it's also how this stuttering issue is normal in gameplay sections, making it much harder, but it's also just annoying. But the bugs and glitches makes things a lot worse. First of all, there were barely any ads or advertising for this game. They only started to pop up a few months before release. The first words from the people who got the preview of the game were negative and very skeptical as to how they would be able to fix this before the release, and the short answer is, well, they didn't. The game never crashed for me. I have heard users playing on the PS5 has had many issues, but on PC, no problems. And yeah, I experienced the most haunting glitch ever.
You're the facilities manager?
And other people have encountered so many more. For me, the glitches and bugs, they were not game-breaking whatsoever. I did not witness a ton of them, so I guess I was lucky. But these bugs tended to be more funny than actually game-breaking. Though it's still really ironic that Leslie and the Mindseye team did a short video segment called, and I can't make this up, Quality Assurance. Are you kidding me?
This is what we do. We play it. There's usually somebody in there who will take tickets. Chris, you got a ticket about the fire extinguisher. Did you get the raindrops over here? We'll record the videos, we'll take little chunks out, and then that'll get put into the Jira database, and that'll get sent out to devs to fix.
Leslie, you knew what product it was that you were shipping, you knew it was not ready, yet you did it anyway. There was no quality assurance. I think the premise from Mindseye, it's quite intriguing and interesting. The game takes place in a near future city of Red Rock, which is a future realistic version of Las Vegas, which has outlawed gambling, creating huge socioeconomic differences between the rich and poor. You play as Jacob Diaz, who is a former soldier who suffers from PTSD after a failed military operation where he killed his own group after becoming infected with some kind of virus that took over both him and his drone. Now Diaz wants to regain his memories of his past and what exactly happened back in the desert. Now Mindseye is not all that bad. It does have some good content in it, and let's talk a bit more about it. First of all, you will see that the cutscenes, they are well made. Aside from some blurriness and lighting issues, they are as realistic as it is, and they are up there with modern releases. The performances by all the actors are phenomenal, easily the best part of the game. No one here does a bad performance, and honestly, I think that Alex Hernandez, who plays the main character as Jacob Diaz, does an amazing performance. Seeing his IMDb and previous work, man, I feel bad for this dude because he's talented, yet he's always in these bad projects. I hope this guy will get better work in the future because he has the talent for it. The game also has a ton of puzzles and most of them are kinda fun. The issue is that most of them are timed, so you're always stressed while doing them. For example, aligning this satellite in space, it's cool, but it does not help that the guy right next to us keeps repeating, hurry up, like, shut the fuck up dude, let me think. I would also love a better tutorial to most of these puzzles or gameplay sections, as it's just too short and non-specific and you will fail on them a lot on your first try because you have no idea what you're doing. Every puzzle though is unique in this game. You won't do the same one twice, and I really appreciate that, as many of them had some creativity in them. Props where it's deserved. There are also some really fun mission designs here, and they have much variety. My favorite one is probably the spy mission, where you fly with this little dragonfly drone to find out some information on an agent, where you need to bait her out of her room by turning off the AC and then stealthily sneak into her room with your drone and get the info. But then she comes back fast, and what can you do? You can even hide under the bed and sneak out with your drone. I just wish there were more of these missions. About halfway through the game, you unlock a personal drone that will come with you at all times, and I really like it. You can also take direct control of it in first person. I don't think I have ever seen a game that lets you remotely control something and fly away from your character this far away, and you can go miles away without losing connection. Now that's amazing. It's just too bad that this mechanic is never really used that often. Some missions do utilize the drone in some creative ways, where you need to get into your drone and find an alternative way in to open the doors from the inside. And again, it's just too bad that only a few missions do this, as it has such potential. There are even some great comedic scenes in the game which actually made me laugh, and for some reason they all involved Lucy.
Lily, say hello. Jacob, don't be rude.
Is she? It's your products! They're simpatico! Oh no. No! Stop! No! No, really? Come back online!
And as I mentioned, the story, it's quite intriguing, seeing how Jacob is dealing with his PTSD, the conspiracies, what exactly that it was that knocked him out at the start of the game and took control of the drone, and a lot of the characters are interesting, but they're a bit too shallow. But overall, there is a cute story here, and there are also side content to this game. There is free roam, which you unlock halfway through the game, and what's free roam? I wish I knew. I'm confused. Here we play as a random guy with this tattoo. Okay, so what can we actually do here? My thoughts exactly. You can attack fortresses, which are just random enemies at different locations, and once you finish them, you get a weapon without ammo. Fun? And there's no quick way down from this building when you're on top of it. You know, an elevator or something. You know, the one standing right behind the weapon chest which you can't use. So yeah, let's go down the fast way instead. Okay, what else can you do? Well, you can accept contracts to steal some data, and guess what? The location to get the data from is inside another fortress just like the previous one. A bunch of random enemies, and you kill them, and yeah, you're also on a timer. Well, not really a timer because it's ticking up and not down, and you need to run back to the people afterwards. Okay? And yeah, the worst part of this is you cannot steal cars. Or at least when once I tried, you can only drive with your personal car, and are you serious? How is this supposed to be free roam if you can't even steal cars? You should be able to steal any car. And the most laughable aspect is this. You got a ton of symbols on the minimap, but there is no map. How the hell am I supposed to find the best direction to these icons if I don't even know how far away they are? Stay the hell away from this mode. It's weird, and I don't even understand why it's in the game. There is also a build mode which was advertised quite a lot, And honestly, I'm not that knowledgeable about this stuff, but it actually looks very advanced for a build simulator, as you can change AI behavior, type in numbers and do pretty much anything you want with the game's assets. So if you like that type of stuff, you might even like this. So yeah, build mode could be fun. But as I have said so many times earlier, why would anyone wanna build something in this particular game if it's just so boring? And lastly, there is the side missions, or whatever you wanna call it. It's just a bunch of minigames. And the weird thing is that they are just minigames that would normally be found in an open world-ish sandbox game. But here they are accessed through a menu. And what can you do here? Well, there are car races. There are also drone races. And then there are these weird missions, if you can even call them that, where you play as different characters aside from Jacob, and I don't understand the point of them. It's just shooty or place your robots here. Take for example the robot one. I was astonished to what even happened. I need to decide the placement for a few security bots around the club, and when I place them down, enemies run out of the place getting killed by them. I don't shoot or anything, I'm just an observer, and mission finished in 30 seconds. What is this game? And most of these side activities, whatever, you will find them in the main game in these weird portals, but I don't get the point. They say it's some weird dimensions or some bullshit, but again, why do these even exist? And also, why anyone would even want to play them? This is simply some of the worst side content I have ever witnessed in a game, and the more I explore in the side content, the more baffled I become over this game's existence. So I was going to say, let's talk about the negative aspects of the game, but I'm already well into that by now. And oh boy, there are many negatives in this game. First of all, there is no melee combat whatsoever. There is also no police system, which means you can kill any civilians or create mayhem without any consequences. And then there are just some simple things like you can only enter cars from one specific side, which is just, why? Have us jump into the passenger seat and scoot over. The open world feels so empty and deserted. It does not matter that there are cars and people around. They don't interact with anyone, they don't talk to anyone, which just makes them useless. There are even exploding cars everywhere when you're out driving, and you will be like, oh, okay. Aside from the cutscenes, this game looks dated. The character models, the environments, they look unrefined and reminds me of a cheap AA game from the 2000s. The driving, it's not bad, it's actually quite good, but my main issue is that there is nothing interesting being done with it. There are no real car chases, because every time you need to chase someone, and you need to follow them until you reach a destination, and then a fight breaks out, every single time. There is no mission where you need to ram your car into someone, driving them off the road and then killing them. No, everything just feels so scripted, it's limiting. There's no freedom of expression here. It's also difficult to drive and drift when the FPS drops. There are many driving camera angles, though why there is one to just your left wheel, I have no idea. Also, for some reason, you can't shoot while driving. Seriously, the only times you can shoot when driving is when someone else is driving you, or if you're in a turret. So yeah, you can only shoot during scripted events, and as mentioned earlier, it's just so limiting. Furthermore, pretty much every vehicle section where an enemy attacks you is scripted, especially the drones, as they will fly around and miss you and then fly off and explode. This happened so many times towards the last missions. This feels like a scripted intro of Cyberpunk, of that truck just crashing into the building regardless of what you do. Come on guys, you don't need to make cinematic scripts just to make it look cool. But what I think is the biggest flaw in this game, aside from its bad optimization, is the mission structure. Every single fucking mission is this: drive to this location while I'll talk to you from the phone, get a cutscene, then drive here and do this. Every single mission. And the worst part by far is simply that the driving is so boring because there is nothing for you to do while driving to said locations, and this happens maybe 30 to 40 times in the game, and it's completely mind-breaking by the end, and it just makes me question the reasoning behind making the game so big when there is nothing for you to do. Oh wait, I was actually joking because there is something you can do while driving. You see, the devs knew that people would be bored of seeing and doing nothing while driving, so they added a small timer in the left window that ticks down, and the game tells you to beat that personal record, and I thought, oh, okay, so maybe I'll get a reward for beating it or something. No, you get nothing. I feel as if the devs hate me. And one of the first things you will notice is that there is no map. How is there no map in this game? You only have a small minimap in your left corner. It makes no sense to not have a map in this sandbox game. It also forces you to just follow the road and the markers and the directions every single time when driving because you don't want to drive in the wrong direction. I don't know any other route because I can't look at the map. Also, how am I supposed to find side activities when there is no map? Oh, put it in the fucking menu instead. Are you serious? Also, if you even try to drive away a small distance during a mission in the wrong direction, mission failed. I have never seen a game be more aggressive about this than Mindseye. And then there are weird stuff like puzzle early on in the game in the lab, and the goal of that game is to find the correct path to the other side, and it's like Minesweeper telling you how many mines are in your vicinity. So I completed it and I came to the other side, and then it resetted, and I was like, okay, so maybe I need to finish it a few more times to get the reward or whatever, if it's a reward or something for the main story. So I finished it 2 more times, and okay, so I have now finished it 3 times in a row. What is going on? And no. The devs seriously just put a minigame in there, or a game, or whatever the fuck they wanna call it, and you get nothing from it. It's just there. And I 100% believe that the devs forgot it was still in the game, because why would it even be there? What, they think people would play this minigame for fun? What is wrong with these people? The game's combat is literally just point and shoot. No other way to play than just shooting. There's no grenade, well, until you get the upgrade on the drone, but that's super late into the game. There are no other throwables, no really unique weapons, except this super rifle you get in the end that shoots an orb that explodes. Yippee. You have no abilities to use except the ones on the drone, no stealth, nothing to upgrade, just cover and shoot all game long. It's just bare bones. There is no blind shooting from cover. You need to aim in order to shoot, and that also means you have to go out of cover and you will get shot. It's just popping in and out of cover, waiting for your health to recover, rinse and repeat. Now I think a combat drone is missing here. The normal drone you have is too situational. It can only electrocute and drop bombs on enemies, and the reload time is so long compared to just shooting them with your character, and you're limited to just killing a few enemies at most with it. You can also use it to possess robots to join your side, but you can only have 1 at a time, and honestly, they are pretty fucking awful. At least towards the end of the game, your electric zap ability on your drone upgrades into an ability that pretty much one-shots any enemy, and at least that is pretty awesome. A lot of the weapons feels the same. There are like 4 assault rifles by the end, and you can't buy ammo or weapons. No, all weapons and ammo is picked up from enemies, which is weird. Why can't we even buy weapons? You have a variety of weapons to use, and it's easy enough to swap between them. You have your handgun, your SMG, assault rifle, snipers, shotgun and some laser rifles, but the issue is that there is no real punch behind any of these weapons. They feel like, you know, a wet noodle being thrown at you.
Enemies up ahead. Look alive.
Now imagine if we had some nice heavy sounds like the handgun from Blade Runner. If they sounded more like this, it would have been so much cooler. And for some reason, the enemy bullets fly slowly, or at least the tracer visuals are super slow, as you're still being hit by invisible bullets, and I have no idea what it is. It just looks weird. Now, I wasn't sure whether to put this in the negative section or the bug section, as there is one car chase which is clearly scripted. It's part of the main story after you save Robin Hood, and in this section you are handed an SMG and somehow you have unlimited ammunition in your rifle because you don't need to reload, and the vast number of enemy cars chasing you to the point is just peak comedy. I just wonder, did no one of the developers test out this section and think, wait a minute, SMGs don't have unlimited ammunition? The AI is some of the most basic shit I have ever played with. You have 3 types of enemies. One group will either camp, and I mean camp behind their cover without even trying to shoot at you. The other type will just run towards you out in the open, but oh, they are trying to flank you. No, they're trying to run towards their deaths. Or there are the ones that are semi-competent and staying behind cover and go up and take a few shots. These are the 3 types of enemies, and there's nothing in between. The game is also super easy, well, at least towards the end, as most of them will just die from one shot to the head and you will take on literal armies of military men. And the worst part is that it feels as if the enemies are all using the same weapons while they're not. I swear to God, I never felt that enemies were using a different weapons. It felt as if they were using the same weapons throughout the whole fucking game. Alright, those were my overall negatives about the game. But how is the story? Could the story save the game? I hoped so, I thought so, I saw its potential, but man, it was a letdown. It had some good potential. Yes, a lot of it is cliché and you will see a lot of it coming from a mile away, but it had something there, and especially towards the middle part of the game. As you follow Jacob Diaz as he comes back to the city to work for Silva as a security guard, where his real goal is to find the answers regarding what happened to him when he was out in the desert, and for a better lack of words, got mind-jacked by this mysterious force, so he wants to work there to meet with the creator and the guy who put the Mindseye into him, as he wants to restore his own memories and finally come to terms with his own PTSD regarding having killed all of his squad. Jacob is also unique as he is equipped with a Mindseye, which is a device that allows you to bridge the gap between human and technology, as you can control machines with your thoughts, kinda what he did with a drone to start the game. But throughout the game, Jacob becomes entangled within this web of power plays between the CEO of Silva Technology, who is basically Elon Musk, I shit you not. He is literally making rockets, and he's this tech billionaire. And then there is the major who is female Donald Trump? Yeah, real subtle there.
Well, thank you,
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Well, Jimmy, back niners are the lifeblood of Red Rock. Now, if we want to become better again, we need to...
Though these plot elements between these two are pretty much thrown out the window towards the end. Now, I shit you not, but this is one of the most stupid things I have ever witnessed in a game. So, Jacob is sent out to scout, and I repeat, scout some criminal members at a location where they are looking for a package. Now, would you, A, park your car far away from the location and walk the rest of the distance so you can sneak up on them? Or do you do B, park right next to them? And what do you think Jacob does? Just look at this.
Sorry to arrive. If anything changes, you contact me immediately.
Copy that.
Are you for real? Now, I thought, oh, maybe this is not Jacob acting, and maybe it's this thing that took over his mind at the start of the game and it's still there, taking control of his body and mind, and how it's changing his personality, and it wants to take huge risks and kill people. But unfortunately, the longer I played the game, this was so not the case. So Jacob is just stupid, I guess. And it's weird because when it comes to handling the PTSD at the start of the game, I think the acting is superb, but it does not work because Jacob is literally killing so many people, which was the cause of his PTSD being reminded of warfare, so does it go anywhere? No, the PTSD just goes away without rhyme or reason. And to me, the first 2 hours of the game, it's just going at light speed for no reason. There is no room for the game to breathe and take it easy and just take it all in. It's just go there, do that, do this, haha. There is no balance between calm sections and hardcore gameplay. Then you have some weird stuff like minigames for doing CPR to a guy. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like this or hate this. They even have one when you are digging your own grave. I'm just confused, man. The middle section of the game, it's quite good. I was intrigued in the story and its setups and I wanted more of it. That's why I pushed through to finish the game. I thought that these setups would be explained and also be satisfying. Well, I was wrong because pretty much every setup in this game is thrown out the window for aliens. Yeah, let me explain. You can feel the game is slowing to a crawl towards the third act because every single mission is tons of enemies standing in your way. There are no more creative missions, it's just shoot, kill, kill. Every single time it becomes so annoying and repetitive, and it's as if the creators ran out of dev time with their level designs and decided to just throw enemies at you. Every single mission, you run 50 meters, kill a bunch of enemies, run 50 meters, kill a bunch of enemies, rinse and fucking repeat. This game has such a terrible introduction. It goes up in the midsection and then down like a rock towards the last third of the game. There is so much running from point A to point B every single mission. It's always huge distances between each mission. It will take you at least between 5 and 7 minutes. And the worst part is that in the third act you go back to so many places you have been at, and of course there are tons of enemies there, and it's always, oh, go and help this guy, go and help this guy, kill a lot of enemies, help this guy, and it's just, come on man, please. One of the worst sections is after you crash your flying drone and you need to escape the city, and it's one of the longest sections I have ever played. And my god, there are so many enemies in your way and you need to kill pretty much everyone. Because if you try to skip enemies, they will chase you regardless of distance. But the issue is that nothing ever changes in the gameplay, as the game lacks any depth and it's all surface level. The first shootout in the game, you are going to do the same thing in the last mission. The only thing that changes are the weapons and the introduction of the drone, and it feels as if there is no progression in the game at all. And this is why I wish the game had a talent or skill system, where you can upgrade your drone to maybe have more battery, faster reload of its skills, and maybe instead of just a grenade, the grenade also creates clusters. Maybe an auto-targeting system that marks all nearby enemies without having to scan them manually. Maybe it can be used to distract enemies, or being able to take control over more than just one robot at a time. There was so much that could have been done here with this drone, and having maybe a tree where you upgrade Jacob's combat abilities, making him better with certain weapons, more health, faster reload timers, and hell, maybe an ability that slows down time so you can line up shots and kill enemies easier. There was potential, but instead there is none of this, and therefore there's no feeling of progression, and you barely feel as if you are getting stronger, which sucks because the enemy is constantly getting stronger with more equipped military guys. There are more of them, they're hard to kill, and there are even robots that you can't even hack towards the end, and they take so much damage. The issue is that the last 4 hours of the game is so packed with plot that you are going to lose track of the story, because that's what I did. All of that setup in the middle part of the game thrown out of the window. Oh yeah, the funniest thing is that one of the main baddies is this mysterious dude with a bionic arm and tattoos all over him. I can't even remember his name. He's revealed to be one of Jacob's former army buddies who was thought to be dead after Jacob's drone pretty much shot him full of holes, and now he wants revenge. And people say that he's indestructible because his whole body, well, it's a cyborg. So in one mission later on, when we are at Silva's house, We manage to get the jump on this guy. We stand right behind him with a clear shot to his head, and this guy tells us to stop. Why? Is it because we can't penetrate his skull? Oh yeah, the best part is that Charlie, our friend and I don't know, maybe love interest that we really care about, even though we shouldn't, sacrificed herself and froze her and that guy from 50 stories high, and the guy, Cyborg, somehow survives. How? And the worst part is the boss fight with this dude, and I mean it loosely because I can't even call this a boss fight. You need to zap him 3 times with your drone and then he goes down. And this is how he dies.
Jacob. God damn it. Jacob, what are you doing?
Diaz! Diaz, make it stop! Jacob, make it stop!
So the guy survived falling from 50 stories high, but he died to 1 bullet to the head. Also, why the hell did we not kill him earlier then when we had a clear shot to his head? If he's so invincible? Nah, fuck this game. Oh yeah, also Leslie said it would take around 20 hours to finish this game. Yeah, that's bullshit, because you can easily finish it in 10. Why? Because there's nothing to play except for the main story. So there's a virus going on that robots are being infected and they're starting to become self-aware and dangerous. There is a virus that is infecting them, but we don't know what the source is. So Silva, the tech giant, wants to shoot up his rocket, and it's super important to him and the company. Now, what did I just talk about robots becoming sentient? Well, guess what? The whole rocket is automatic. There is no human on board, and it's traveling to Europe, or as they call it.
I'll have you know that toaster's going to Europa.
Now, am I stupid? Am I a little stupid to think that maybe sending a fully automatic rocket ship to Europe is not the best idea, as there, could be a small problem of, I don't know, if a fucking rocket became sentient and decided to blow itself up in Europe. Yet no one talked about this problem, but it's really important. What is up with this game? There's also another weird situation in the main story where we have a standoff with our main baddies, but suddenly the Merc's arm starts to go haywire and all the mechs that are supposed to be turned off goes online and all hell breaks loose. So what happens after that? I can literally go right next to the people and they are our allies now. I get the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but this is straight up weird, man. And then for some reason close to the end, they throw 3 fucking puzzles at you in a row and they are so annoying. The first one is you rotate a wheel the correct way. After that, you have to direct these lasers with the correct placement of these crystals, and this puzzle sucks balls. Because look at the movement speed while you are carrying a crystal, and you need to change and swap these out so many times and you will go crazy by the slow paced movement. Why not let us run while carrying them? And lastly, you need to direct the Pharaoh DJ to get all the lasers on these panels, and yay. What were they thinking with this? You know, I kept waiting and waiting for the moment where Jacob would find the drone that he used in the first cutscene so that he could mend his trauma and that he would later gain control of that combat drone where we could use it in the main story, as it has both a Gatling gun and missiles, but of course we don't get it. That would make too much sense. I thought we would find this drone and how the mysterious voice that took it over and which is connected with Jacob would talk to him and warn him that an apocalypse is going to occur if you open that sealed door to start. No, it never happens. Why? I kept waiting and waiting, hoping that the game would actually have a satisfying conclusion, and man, I was wrong. It's the most generic B-movie crap because, as mentioned before, the big baddie and the main explanation for everything in this game are aliens. Yeah. What is the main explanation for what happened at the start? Aliens. Yeah, it was aliens all along, and not just any aliens. These aliens wants to harvest humanity because, you see, they knew humanity would eventually build AI, so they are trying to open a portal to their dimension, and they are called kin. And by this point, I had lost all of my interest in the game because it just became such a cliche festa with alien bad guy slop. And guess who built the pyramids? You guessed it, aliens. So after having killed the evil bad military guy who I don't even care about, the robots somehow become sentient again and they are going to open a portal to harvest humanity, and this is the end cutscene, by the way.
I know what I have to do. Nobody else is dying for me.
Oh yeah, there's also a sequel bait. Seriously? First the ending just ends the game abruptly and I thought that was it. So you have to wait through all, and I mean all of the post-credit scene because there is no skip button. And yeah, that goes for every fucking cutscene in the game. You can't skip them. Have fun. Fuck you. Anyway, there is a post-credit scene and it's just, oh look, maybe Jacob is still alive, or maybe he has become this robot and wow, riveting stuff. Yeah, good sequel bait. There is so much plot leading up to the final confrontation, and my main issue is this ending has no satisfying end to it. It just makes me wonder why the hell you had so many different plot lines, conspiracy, murders, politics, and for all of that to end with just aliens? What was the point? Oh yeah, and after you finish the game, you are thrown into free roam, and you play as this guy. I have so many questions, but I'm getting too tired. If you restart the game, you just restart from the start all over again, but you can access each individual mission from the menus, so there is that, I guess. But I have never seen something this weird happen to me after an ending. What a shitty ending. Please try harder next time. But if I was mad about the awful story and the ending and everything in between, there is also something else that made me really damn angry. One of the worst things about this whole debacle regarding this game were the amount of high-profile streamers who advertised this shitty game, playing it while being sponsored, as in recent years, gaming companies have shifted their focus of giving out review copies because people no longer trust journalists and their opinions. So instead, the game companies are now using influencers to promote their games, and that's exactly what Mindseye did, as I saw so many streamers playing this game and they were sponsored by them. Now, I'm not a fan of this practice because the streamers are actively lying about their experience of the game, as they are not allowed to talk negatively about it, and they have to recommend it. They are literally paid to play said game. Although there were some interesting moments which I have never seen before, as Khan's sponsorships was cancelled just before he was about to jump into the game.
The sponsor just paused the sponsored stream. So, first time that's happened.
Or how Dark Viper was unable to recommend a game at the end of his stream.
If you want to check out Mindseye now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, Epic Game Store and Steam, feel free. You can type !spawn in chat and I give you a link.
I'm not a fan of this recent trend of streamers trying to make a shitty game look better than it is, unable to talk shit about it because they are sponsored. And I see a lot of people defend this practice that when you become big, it's okay to grab that bag, make as much money as you want, you deserve it, it's your job. Okay, but don't people have any integrity? These streamers did not check out what the game was about or all the red flags before accepting the sponsorship, so either they are naive and stupid or they simply did not give a fuck, because fuck you, give me money. What disgusts me is simply that the streamers are preying on their own inbuilt audiences, and the parasocial effect between them and their fans is disturbing. They are willingly promoting this broken game to their audience as they have to recommend it at the end of the stream, selling a subpar product to your own audience. I don't think that's cool. I hope that people actually start to call out this shitty practice and hold streamers accountable for manipulating their audiences. But they were not just streamers, because there is one YouTuber that I need to call out who did his review of the game, and that name is KevDoIt, who is a fucking sellout, because this was his title before he changed it. Mindseye is better than I thought. And the first thing he says in the video is this.
Thank you to Mindseye for sponsoring this video. It's available right now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and on PC.
Oh gee, I wonder what he thinks about the game. Could it be good? Because of course he likes it and defends it. He was paid to say that. But after seeing the pushback to the video, he changed the title to "So I tried Mindseye. Yeah, nice try, bud." Everyone is calling him out in the comment section. What a sellout. Oh yeah, and after he was getting hate, he tried to defend himself with this comment. Well, dang. I guess I'm one of the few people out there who was able to just play this without heaps of problems and have a good time. I had a couple of graphical issues here and there, and that was it, nothing to cry over. But now I'm looking around and seeing so many people having a brutal time even running the game, which makes me look like the biggest chill on the planet. I stand by what I said, the game is good. But it seems like I got lucky with my copy running so well. I even played for a few hours before confirming that I would take on the sponsorship, just to make sure I was having a good time. Had no idea it was going to be this rough for seemingly everyone else.
You're a liar! You're a liar! You know something that you're not telling us, you slimy scumbag liar!
But you do understand that the copy they gave you to play before you take that sponsorship was custom made. You played a game before it was released. You played a different version, you utter idiot. Because you said you played it before taking the sponsorship, which means you played it before it was released to the public. Just stop lying. It's so obvious in the video that you are playing it up. I wonder how much the team of Mindseye paid you. 4 digits? 5 digits? I know Actman was sponsored to make a video about some fucking random battle game, which netted him 48k, and he was so called out for that sponsorship. You cannot say that the game is good when the team making the game paid for you to make the review. Are you seriously stupid, dude? You cannot give your honest thoughts about the game when you are paid to be positive about the game. At least be transparent and say, fuck you, I'm going to take that bag, and you, my audience, you are my pay pigs. But nah, just lie instead. And I bet he's going to ignore this whole situation and just keep on making videos as per usual. I mean, he got his bag already. What I can say is never trust anything this man ever says about a new game again. And don't get me wrong, I'm just a super small YouTuber who has not gotten any deals or sponsorships, and to be honest, if I was offered thousands of dollars to promote a game, I want to say that I would never do it. But how can I even say that, because I have never been in that position, and that scares me a lot. But I hope that in the future, if I ever get such an offer, that I will be able to just say no, fuck off. I think a lot of these problems started after Total Biscuit died, as he was the only one to call out this type of bullshit. I just wonder, where did the honesty and integrity go? How are people willing to use their audiences for their own gains? And if this keeps up, gaming is going to become a lot worse than it is at the moment. I am probably the most positive person about the game who was not paid to review the game. But I absolutely cannot recommend this game to anyone as of this moment. Saying otherwise would be lying, and I will not lie. I would either recommend you to wait until they iron out the bugs and optimize the game. If they fix this, and then when the price drops to maybe 20-30 euros or bucks, then I can recommend that you try this game out. But for 60 bucks, no fucking way. That's highway robbery. And lastly, I cannot say it enough. but the creators of this game should be ashamed of themselves for releasing this game in such an awful state. They knew exactly what was going to happen, yet now they act as if they will take all the feedback and fix it later, and I hate this modern mindset of release now, fix it later. They knew the game was not ready yet, they shipped it anyway. Pure greed. Stay far away from this game as of this moment. And with that, I bid you farewell. I tried to get a refund on Steam, but I did not get it because, well, I had obviously played over the 10-hour mark, but I tried because it felt like I was cheated out of my money. So, thank you so much for watching. If you like it, give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys!